Hi everybody, we're in the Lionsgate portal. What does that mean? Woo! It's basically an astrological event that happens in the sign of Leo, which means that there is an increase of energy available to us to help us evolve and ascend and light up and get more cosmic and just sort of start to move into even more light and love and harmony and peace. And it happens in the astrological sign of Leo, and Leo is all about strength and courage and showmanship and energy and sunlight and heart-centered activity. It's also about individuality. So I'm just going to do quite a quick little reading here and just see what comes up for us as we approach Lionsgate. So the actual sort of day of Lionsgate is the 8th of the 8th, which is Saturday. But as I say, it's sort of started to open now, this doorway, this window. Big picture thinking, visionary inspired ideas. That's the first card, Pleiades energy, visionary and inspired ideas. So this is encouraging us to take this opportunity to become bigger in ourselves. So, the Lionsgate or Leo is about being quite big. And as I say, the Leo energy can be quite a show-off energy. And that energy sometimes is brilliant, isn't it? That's the sort of person you want at a party. You want someone who, gets everything going, is charming, is funny. Although sometimes that winds people up, rubs people up the wrong way, but actually those characteristics are really good because it takes the heat out of it for other people who don't feel comfortable in that environment. If someone else is doing it, then they can kind of retract a bit, relax and feel more comfortable. So actually, it's a good energy to have, but this is more about, the big view, taking the world view. And so perhaps at the moment, in a very uncertain and strange and shifting time that we find ourselves in, very easy to think that, oh my gosh, we're all doomed, it's all going, all going wrong. There is an awful lot of stuff coming up and out, as we've said before, as we're seeing every single day on the news or the alternative news or whatever. There is, there's a lot of activity, a lot of movement, and things are going break speed. We're hanging on for dear life and just sort of hoping that we're going to kind of make this ride. But for anything to birth anew, for us to get a better way of being, for us to really evolve into our true nature of love and harmony and peace, and for our outer world to reflect that, we do need to go through a birthing process. And a birthing process is not a pretty process. There's a lot of debris that has to come out. There's a lot of pain that has to be had in order for something to come into the new way of being, like a chrysalis turns into a caterpillar and a butterfly. It's not a smooth and easy transit. So we need to accept and watch this situation. So rather than getting too embroiled in it, and rather than feeling too overwhelmed by some of the stuff that is happening now, we need to be able to take a step back, be calm and cool, know that this is a natural process. Everything has to go through some discomfort, pain, suffering in order to make it into something better and beautiful. When you have a breakup with somebody, you have this absolute love, and then you have a breakup, and the breakup, it's so painful for both parties, but usually there's one party it's so painful for, and suddenly you really hit rock bottom. You think, that's it, I will never be loved again. And often it's often at the point where you just totally let it all go, and you've gone, okay, well that's it, I surrender, I give up, that's fine. And then what happens? You start to grow again. You start to come into being again. And then before you know it, and usually when you've taken your eye off the ball, something happens and you feel that again. This is all cyclic. So this is a big picture cycle. And so the big picture thinking now is not to get caught up really in the dramas being played out, but actually to start thinking and putting our energies into what do you want the new world to look like? What do you want it to look like? How do you want to feel? What sort of interactions do you want to have with people? What kind of society do you want to live in? What sort of community do you want to live in? How do you want schooling to look like? Well, how do you want, do you want to stay with this exchange, sort of money exchange, or how about we do something a bit differently? Perhaps it's more, an exchange of talents, an exchange of, you come round and do my garden and I'll do some babysitting for you, whatever it is, So I think rather than get stuck, because at the moment this is a natural process that's happening. It's a shake-up, things are coming up and out. It's all going to be a little bit unstable, a little bit confusing for a while, and we have to learn to sit with that and be with that. But what we can do that's positive and exciting is start to project our ideas and our visioning into the new, what we want to see. I think, no matter where you sit kind of thing, you probably do want something a little bit different from what we've been used to. So that's that. Let's do another card. Just realised I've kind of got everything all nice here for the camera, and I've got all my Lionsgate crystals and the pictures and everything, and I've got my nice Buddha here, and then I've just sort of thrown this seat behind us. It's all looking a little bit scruffy. And it's funny because it's not really my nature at all, but that was bothering me. So there's a little bit of apophyllite here. I'll put that there. Apophyllite, apothecary, medicine. Yeah, what's our medicine at the moment? So our medicine at the moment, finding our joy. Our medicine is staying healthy and fit. Our medicine is communication and connection. Definitely. Communication and connection. What have we got here? Jump in. Adventure. Say yes to change. Yeah, adventure. Say yes to change. So I think the adventure, in a way, at the moment, for many of us, it has to be an internal adventure. Although you may find yourself going out and about and adventuring. And actually, in some ways, that may be true because you might be doing things you weren't thinking about doing. In the past, you might have done a 2-week holiday in the summer and you might have gone to a place you always go to every summer, or a variation on that theme. But maybe this summer, because things are different, you might have decided to go camping, or you may have gone somewhere different. You might have approached things in a different way. So on a sort of regular day-to-day level, that could well apply, couldn't it? But my feeling as soon as I saw that, because it looks rather like it's an eye and the third eye and it's in space, was really about, an investigation into the internal. Because right now, what do we know for sure? As I say, it's very easy to get distracted, to get depressed, to get, overwhelmed. So what I keep coming back to is, what do we know for sure right now? What do we know for sure? Well, we know that when we do things we love, we feel good. When we're with people we love, we feel good. We know that connecting with people, on the whole, makes us feel good if it's a positive connection, communication. We know the things we enjoy doing, our personal things we enjoy doing. So perhaps the thing right now is stay in that zone of, what do I know for sure that makes me feel good? And because everything else is debate and possibility, but it's by no means written. So rather than spending your energy and getting drained energetically because you're wandering down a thought passage which is taking you to possibly quite a doomy scenario, we come back and we just kind of stay with ourselves. Well, what do I know? Well, I know that if I speak to my friend, then I feel good. I know that if you want to go deeper, I was, so meditate, because if you start to really understand the truth of what's within you, then you begin to understand what's without you, what's outside of you, and you begin to really grasp that, we are collectively we're co-creators of this experience we see in front of us. So when you look around you at your life, you get a very indication of what's happening inside you, and vice versa. So when you look inside, then you'll start to understand what you're seeing outside, what you're manifesting outside. If you are somebody who is constantly getting into arguments and quarrels and fights, look at the way you're talking to yourself in your mind. Are you constantly arguing with yourself? Are you constantly quarreling? Are you constantly gathering information to be armed for fight, for strategy? So all you have to do is observe. If you're somebody who has really nice relationships, have a look at, how do I relate to myself? Do I treat myself well? Oh yeah, actually I do treat myself quite well. How do I treat my family? So it gives you clues. But if you want to go and find some real peace and harmony, then, meditation. Meditation also throws up stuff, definitely. But in meditation, you know that for sure. No matter what happens in the outside world, you can meditate. Yeah, you can meditate. And when you really meditate, you would think in some ways, if you didn't know, you would think, well, I'm just sitting and I get very closed in. But actually what happens when you meditate is your world becomes, or your inner world becomes, unfathomable and enormous and expanded, a bit like the great cosmos. So the cosmos is inside you, and wonderful. So for me, at the moment, it's come back to the self. If you want the answers, then come back to yourself, come back to meditation, study meditation. At the moment, we need to have a practice every single day. That doesn't have to be meditation, doesn't have to be yoga, but we need to practice every day. We need to practice awareness, because everything has come up in such a way that you can't just coast anymore. You can't, because if you're going to have interactions outside, you are constantly at the moment coming across people who have slightly different perspectives and slightly different ways of looking at things. Whereas before you could maybe comfortably have a little chit chat, nothing big. At the moment, it's quite difficult to have that chit chat. It's quite difficult to coast. You've got to be on your guard. And you've got to, and when I say on your guard, I don't mean suspicious, but I mean, it's kind of, can I be compassionate in this situation? You may have a different idea than I have, but can we have a communication compassionately and kindly, and understand each other's perspective and point of view, and not try and push mine on you or you on mine? We can still be human beings and accept our differences, and leave each other feeling okay. So that's what I mean about, if we have an everyday practice, an awareness practice, or a mindfulness practice, we're going to be able to deal with these interactions much better, and we won't get caught off guard as much. Because if we just react at the moment, which is happening a lot of reaction, then things are getting very volatile. So we need to stay calm. So this Lion's Gate, you've got this energy available now for us to really expand, think good, think big, be creative, spiritually evolve, all of those things. I'm just going to do one more card. I've actually got to go and pick up my children. So, quick card. Star Ancestors. Hidden secret, lost wisdom, and look a little deeper. This is the Starseed Oracle. Star Ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. It's actually the pyramids, which are very affiliated with Lionsgate. Really that's kind of what I was just saying, wasn't it, about meditation, coming back to meditation, lost secrets, ancestors. If you meditate deeply, you can access the wisdom of your ancestors. You can also heal where your ancestors needed healing, and you can start to heal that bloodline, that family line that has come up to you, because we all take, if we don't do our own healing, we will all take our ancestors, the things that needed to be healed, we'll bring them along with us, and we will start to have behaviours, and it's very subtle, that may not have been ours originally at all, but we've kind of inherited them. So ancestral healing at the moment is very important. And you can do that in meditation, or, you can tune into that, to like the Akashic Records meditations, and find out, what has happened before and what do I need to heal. And that can be really, really helpful. Just look a little deeper. So whilst we have this sort of expanded energy of the Lionsgate, yes, it's definitely a call to look deeper. Imagine your pyramid, going within your pyramid, those long, long passages in the pyramids, and, tiny dark sort of spaces with hidden treasures in it. So this is where we're going to find our hidden treasures at the moment. There's no use in looking into the outside world at the moment because it's very volatile. We don't know what's going on. So let's look for our own hidden treasures, and that will prepare us, and we'll play the long game. Get your, so you have your practice, you look after yourself, you think, what do I love doing? Who do I love being around? And I will take time in meditation. I will get time to be grounded, to be clear. I will remember that I have power. I can speak my truth. I can embody my truth. And I can be compassionate and kind, and I can find my own inner treasures, my own hidden gifts. And then when this changes again, you'll have that wealth of energy and information and compassion and love inside yourself to be able to take that into crafting and developing and exchanging ideas to create a beautiful new world. And I do believe that's coming, but maybe not for some time. So let's play the long game and, traverse this rocky terrain. We can do it. We can do it. Happy Lionsgate, and namaste.